Welcome back. We appreciate you joining us here for Dime to Diamonds. Get more details on the website, dimetodiamondsradio.com. That phone number, 918-890-8311. Let's jump back into it here. We've been talking about the market forever and ever and ever. Investors have spent the last few years waiting for the next big market shoe to drop. Of course, we are on, I think it's the 8th largest bull market since World War II. So, guys, we're on borrowed time here. Strategist Ryan Dietrich tells CNBC that history shows bull markets last longer than most expect.
This is now the 8th longest bull market since World War II. Okay, what's that mean? Look at the previous 7. 6 of them lasted at least 5 years. The average length was 7 years. We're not saying it's going to go 7 years. This one's about 3.5 years old. But look at history. Bull markets just don't end. Usually it's something come the Fed or maybe a 100-year pandemic. We're not seeing those worries right now.
All right, so why is trying to predict the end of a bull market often harmful when it comes to retirement investors? Because I would think, no one has a crystal ball, but you want to do what you can to protect yourself from this downfall.
The biggest mistake I see isn't ever the market, it's emotion. It's never been the Black Fridays, that kind of thing, or the pandemic. It's been greed and emotion. And I get the bull market, and I'm happy we're in a bull market, but, you and I teach people, you need to be proactive. Mm-hmm. If it's bad right now, it's not going to last forever. If it's good right now, it's not going to last forever. So let's get off of that emotional carousel or roller coaster, and let's get strategic with what you're doing. That breaks my heart when I see people that are emotionally up and down based on the headlines because they think, or their portfolio is such. It's like the gentleman that came in that took him, 22 minutes to get from his handicapped spot downstairs all the way up the elevator and all that because he was shuffling, but he lost $14,000, and he's in his 80s, and he was here to tell me he was taking out, his $5,000, but his financial advisor was, it's okay, it's riding up and down, that's just what the market does, and that is true, that's what it does. But when you're in retirement, you shouldn't be going on that emotional roller coaster. You shouldn't be on that day, that sequence of return. Now you've not just lost the 5 you took out. You've lost 14 because the market had a down day. So you just really took out 19,000 of purchasing power that you're going to try to make up when the market does go back up, And so, that's why it reminds me of roller coasters. Like my 25-year-old body or 35-year-old body on a roller coaster does a lot better than my 60-year-old body in recovering. Is that not true or what?
Yeah, well, we've talked about now I get motion sickness, so I can't ride roller coasters and swinging and stuff when I was swinging with little Charlotte. And it's like, I got to get off for a bit because it goes back to, when you're younger, you have a lot more time and your ability to recover from things or even just to adjust. You have that longer span. But when we get into those shorter time frames, we have to be attentive to what the plan is doing. And I think that goes back to just having a proactive plan. You're not trying to predict what the market's going to do or what may or may not happen in our world. We have a plan in place. We're working that plan. And if we need to deviate because of something that has occurred, we make a minor tweak. We're not pulling out everything. We're not making these big emotional decisions because we know the plan is in place and we're okay.
Right.
One of the other pieces is I think a lot of times these are great opportunities for people to look at it in a different lens and say, what in this piece of the world can I actually control? And, that goes back to you can control taxes. Right. That's one of the biggest pieces is you can.
People think they can't control taxes. And I'm like, that's what you're taught, but you can.
Yes.
There's the people out here. You can prevent cavities. You can all the other things and all that we go to specialists for. You can take control of your taxes. And it's just understanding that language and being around somebody. And I think that's what we get a lot of credit for. We won't make you feel stupid.
Right.
We're not going to talk above you. We're going to sit and we're going to just keep talking until you figure it out. If Mahjong is your language, I will talk to you in wins and Charleston's and all that stuff and apply it.
Right.
And that's the same thing. We wait and we talk their language. But it's also because I own this company. Right. And so I don't work for anybody. I don't work for a big box firm. If you need 3 hours of our time, and I agree to it, if you're going to be receptive of it, then I'm here to help you. That's right. Literally, this is my ministry. This is what I do. And that's where we come to people and say, hey, this is what we do. If we can help you, great. And if we can't, that's okay too.
Yeah, well, it really goes back to education is empowerment, and that is what we try to provide is an education on what are the opportunities in these different scenarios.
And I don't know if, we talked about this on or off the air, but it's talking about our 35-year-old bodies, 25-year-old bodies riding a roller coaster. We recover a lot quicker than when we get older. And this 60-year-old body, we're getting ready to go to Disneyland. I don't know. Like you said, you got sick on the swing with my granddaughter, Charlotte.
Yeah, which is so sad. I love roller coasters, and now it's like
I can't watch those teacups are spinning. I'm like, no, all the advertisements.
Wow.
Go on at night. So then all the lights are spinning. I'm like, that's what happens to me if I have too much sodium or MSG in my food.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not intentionally putting myself on that to go spinning. So what we help clients create is different buckets. And I want to get to that today. Right now is we do a bucket for income right now. Then we do a bucket for protected from volatility, and then another bucket that's positioned for long-term growth. And that's another thing, just especially men, they're like, I'm so used to watching the market and I'm so used to being so hands-on in that accumulation part. Now they've got to find a new identity.
a new hobby is what you keep telling them.
I wasn't going to say that, but yes, I look at them square in the eye. I'm like, it's time to find a new hobby. Like, figure something else out. Is there nowhere you want to go travel? Is there like anything you want to do that you've been your whole life? And I think we were talking about this on another episode. It's an identity shift for a lot of people, retirement.
It is.
Everything you've ever known, you go to school to learn, so then you can do a trade, then you do the trade, and then you keep learning all the way through the trade, and now you've broke free. You've arrived at retirement, and that's where I find the hardest conversations with people is when they've got, I just had these last week, over $4 million, and she said, no, we don't think of that because that's money we can't touch. And I get that when you're younger, but you're in retirement right now. Wait till reality slaps you like it did me October 31st when my husband, all of a sudden, all the plans we had for travel, November, December, and the rest of our lives came to a screeching halt to teach him how to get that left side of his body functioning again and how to eat and talk and walk and all that. You have life hit you, you realize that I think every day on borrowed time. I mean, nothing says you're going to live. Yes, you may have longevity in your family.
Correct.
That doesn't mean that you're not going to be involved in an accident or have something happen. And so that's where I like to talk to people. So if you're right now, listeners, if your retirement plan is simply, I hope the markets keep going up, that's not a strategy. You need to call us today. Call Phoenix Financial Group. Let's stress test your retirement before the market does. We specialize in running tax-focused retirement analysis. And if you want to see it in action, bring your tax returns and sit in awe like I do with Rochelle and watch her look. You just flip through the pages, lick those fingers.
You talked about stress testing your retirement. Guys, this is crucial. Again, going over the different buckets there. Again, you said you can control your taxes. It's not just Uncle Sam's game, guys. Throw your hat in the ring there. Get in there. And getting into retirement, it's an emotional, a mental shift, an identity change. And this is also about the income planning aspect as well. That stress test for your retirement available for you right now, 918-890-8311. 918-890-8311. You can always get more details at dimetodiamondsradio.com. Now, Suzanne, you have made no bones about it. Of course, you'll help anybody that needs help, but a focus that you have and a passion that you have is helping women in wealth. Talk me through this. Why are you so passionate about this? What can you, as a woman, give another woman across the table from you, something that, let's say, another person down the road can't?
Well, because we understand each other. We're different. And in our Western culture, our society, the women, we had careers, then we took a time out. We had children. We maybe helped raise those kids. We took care of the house. We took care of, I can tell you right now, I hardly know a man. They're out there, but I don't know a lot of them that are up thinking about on Sunday night what dinners are going to look like for the week and when the dog needs to get groomed and where the kids are all having to go. So we have these constantly, all these moving parts of organizing everybody and everything around us. The men typically are very linear. They're just concerned about taking care of their queen. They want to make sure when they come in here, that's what I hear. I just want to make sure she's okay. Where I'm different and we differentiate it is I can look at the lady and say, what do you want? What does it look like for you? If something was to happen to you, what do you want to make sure? Please make sure that my fur babies, that I want the cat to go here, the dogs to go here. Make sure that my kids and my grandkids and the church and my bunco group and my mahjong, all this stuff. And the guys are just looking like, what? They're not linear like that. And I was just talking to one of my friends, an advisor, and he said he's lost 8 female clients this year. And he said, please help me. They've been my clients since their husbands in the very beginning, and we helped grow this fortune, and now they're leaving. And I said, I'm telling you, they're leaving because they're not being heard. Men can hear and make us feel that way, but I just had him go through some of what does a typical appointment look like after the husband has passed away? I send her flowers and I go to the house and I go inside, and I can tell you right now, you need to meet in a neutral location. You don't go into that new widow's home. Oh, but I was there with her husband for years. No, we're different. And that's where, Jess, we come in and we're like, women, you know how men can go, I was just at a conference, men can go up and be friends right away and talk and fist bump and all that, or go play golf. Us women, we kind of stand off and we're like, okay, kind of playing, who's who and where's where, and we're just a little different. Wouldn't you say, Rochelle?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to like the education side of things, where men are used to being able to just say, this is what it's going to be and this is why, and we're good to go, versus when women are in the office with them. Well, why? Or, can you explain that to me? Or they don't even feel like they have that ability to ask that question because they're stupid. And I don't know that I hope people never feel that way with us. I love questions. I love to empower people to have more education on topics that they haven't been informed on. We all had to learn something at some point in time.
Right.
So
I can look at that woman and I go, you didn't totally get that. And she's like, you're right. I didn't catch that. Can we say it in another tone or another way? I can go and give it at another angle, and I'm never, ever, ever annoyed. There is no such thing as thinking there's a dumb question. I don't give that off at all. I will sit there and sit there and sit there. And if we need to schedule a second appointment when maybe it's fresher, we'll just keep layering that education until you feel comfortable that you know it. And like I said, you don't have to recite what I do. You don't have to have the licenses that I do to do this. But I want you to feel comfortable. If somebody says something about a product that you understand it, or they ask you, how do you know you're not going to run out of money? How do you have that my client is able to explain how she arrived at that. And I think that's what sets us apart. Let's plan and prepare for the different things that might be coming up in the 6 months or a year in advance, where we're able to do that because we're not just a firm that is focused on being transactional and just helping with one thing. We have a goal, we have a roadmap, and we're working that with our clients if that's what they're interested in.
Having a goal, having a roadmap to just see, okay, where are we? How do we need to get there? Part of that financial organization, as you mentioned, is key. Having everything organized in one's place, not all over the place. And listen, if you are a single woman out there, widow, divorcee, just a single woman in general, and you're looking, you know what, I just want to work with a woman. I feel like she understands me. If you've ever felt like that and you want someone to actually sit down and listen to you as a woman, you need to call Suzanne and Rochelle today. I want to give you that phone number for that retirement roadmap, 918-890-8311. That's 918-890-8311. And a lot of details that we haven't been able to mention today, but check it out on the website at dimetodiamondsradio.com. In a moment, why it's time to stop procrastinating about estate planning.
When you retire, the paycheck from your job will likely stop. But here's what won't stop: bills, taxes, and medical issues. Sure, there's Social Security, but that may not be enough. Suzanne Porsky and the team at Phoenix Financial Group can show you how to develop a new stream of income that can last as long as you live, kind of like having your own personal pension. You won't have to worry about whether the market is up or down or who's sitting in the White House. You can spend your time instead on the things that matter, like family, friends, and doing the things you never had time to do before. Call Suzanne today at 918-890-8311. That's 918-890-8311. And schedule a custom income review at no charge to find out where you stand now and how Suzanne can help you build income in retirement at 918-890-8311. or online at dimetodiamondsradio.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to Dime to Diamonds. Here's the bottom line. If retirement's been on the brain, you're wondering how, when, and where is it going to happen for you, you're in the right spot. Joined today with Suzanne Porsky of Phoenix Financial Group and Rochelle Harp of Harp CPA. That phone number, 918-890-8311. The website, dimetodiamondsradio.com. Even if you've never needed his legal services, you've probably seen those commercials from injury attorney John Morgan. Forbes recently added him to a list of billionaires, but Morgan tells Business Insider that even he knows the clock is ticking.
I'm 69 years old. I have had more fun and seen more people, and I've met popes. I've met all the presidents. They've all been in my house. I've raised hell. My children's childhood was unbelievable, and my high school was unbelievable, and my college was unbelievable. Sadly to say, my best days are probably behind me, if I'm being honest. But I got good days ahead of me now because I got these 6 grandchildren, which has transformed my life because I'm getting to do it again, and I'm getting to enjoy this innocence and this love. When your grandchildren run into you, there's no love like that.
Oh my gosh, I can only imagine. And, you know, when your priorities shift from building wealth to thinking about your kids, your grandkids, a lot of people know that they should have an estate plan. But let's be honest, they keep putting it off. Suzanne, you see this all the time. What are the first steps to actually getting an estate plan in place?
Well, and I do. I always tell Jess that, the family should inherit your legacy, not your confusion. And most people honestly think that estate planning is just about being wealthy. It's not. It's about protecting the people that you love. Because if something happened tomorrow, does your family know where everything is? Are the beneficiaries correct all the way across the board? Who makes the decisions? Does your money transfer the way you intended it to? And the biggest messes we see are usually from the people who thought, I'll handle that someday. They just think it's always, off another time. And estate planning starts with making some basic but important choices, like who inherits your money and your property. Mm-hmm. Even if it's just a small checking account. People say, I put them on as a beneficiary. If you don't have a durable power of attorney in place, they have to wait for a death certificate. And if it was you fell asleep and didn't wake up, they're looking at at least 6 months, 180 days out here with medical examiner. So we step in and just organize everything and say, okay, what are your decisions and how do you want to, especially multiple families,
Yep.
as we see, and who is going to make the medical decisions, who is going to be your medical advocate. So if you don't have any money, you're living in an apartment and you ride a bike, do you have it all? Who, if something happens to you, who's going to make the medical decisions? Or are you leaving that up to the doctors, a judge, and all that? Because there are people in nursing homes that had nobody, they didn't take care of it. And the liability, nobody wants the liability. So they're just letting those bodies stay there. And that's what I tell people. It's not, if you're alive, you have something that has to be taken care of. Because when you can't talk, somebody has to step in for you. And that's what needs to happen. And so that's just when they come in, people come in and talk. Usually it's about what's keeping them up at night. Like, how do I make a paycheck or taxes or something? We talk about all that. And then I'll say, hey, the first step is, I need to talk to you about your estate planning. And when we say estate, that doesn't mean it's some sprawling complex with gates and all that. Estate is just a big word for anything that you have under your care management, right?
Yeah, I think it's the biggest misnomer for people is that if you have a checking account, if you have anything else, jewelry, maybe it's expensive, maybe it's not expensive, but you have things that you would like to be left to somebody, then you need an estate plan. And I think that's one of the things, and people think it's going to cost a ton of money. And I think there's opportunities for individuals to not have that big expense, but have more peace of mind about what's going to happen to their things.
Right. Or they go, you know what? I have a will. A will, firsthand, been there, done that with family, is a fancy letter. It's just a letter that you're telling the judge, please consider this when you make a decision on what happens to everything of mine. It does not ensure that what your wishes are is going to happen. I look at Aretha Franklin. Mm-hmm. They keep finding wills. I don't know. She's been gone for how many years now? A will, and then the judge reads it, sets a date, receives the new will, the new information, and then sets another date to talk about it. and get all the input because it's all public. It's all in the newspapers. You get to be told when the court date is so you can come and you can be heard and tell the judge. The judge is ultimately making the decision on everything you've accumulated and everything you've done in your life.
It's a great opportunity for people to help the individuals left behind. How many times have we talked about that these situations are when families become broken? And in those hospital rooms or different places, how many times are police called in because people are fighting and arguing and all of these things? And it could be avoided or at least mitigated, maybe not completely avoided, but mitigated if you have had conversations and if you have plans in place.
Right.
And it's so easy.
Right. And then you get the byproduct is you get financially organized because we take inventory of all the assets and we have those hard conversations. And then, if the clients are, should I let the executor that I've chosen know? Absolutely. Bring them in here if you like, or get them on a phone call if they're out of state. And do they have to be somebody that's local? No, it doesn't have to be somebody local. And let me just tell you right now, it's not going to be me. I was asked 3 times last week, could you? I'm like, no. For so many reasons. It's absolutely no. And don't even start looking at anybody in this office because they're like, we just don't know. I go, well, then this is your homework.
Yes.
You've got to know somebody that if you were, not able to talk, a medical advocate, a durable power of attorney. And we do this services in our office, but we are not a legal firm. I do not practice law. We are not attorneys by any way, shape, or form. We just do the secretarial stuff of it. We show you it. The same programs we use can be bought by anybody.
Yeah.
But we do it for you and we know what we're doing and we get everything filed. So, and then estate planning is an ongoing process. It's not a one and done. It's not a one-time task. I tell people we need to review this.
I think the biggest piece is you talk about this being the foundation.
Yeah.
Of the whole pyramid, of the whole piece. And so it's one of the most important pieces. And I think it's overlooked way too often.
And people think it's overwhelming. I'm like, it's irrevocable. And I've had people.
What does that mean?
Oh, they can change it anytime they want. And that usually happens around the holidays. I'm not kidding. Every year, I wish I was joking, but they'll they'll do the estate planning. They have certain people that are the executor they want to execute their wishes. They have like co-trustees. They have the beneficiaries, all this all online. They go to Thanksgiving or Christmas and we get a call. No, they piss me off. So now we're changing it. And I'm like, okay. Or somebody's got married.
Right.
Or is in, a relationship and they're like, gosh, I really didn't want them. I want some stipulations. I want to put how they're going to receive the money, that it's not part of if they don't work out. Because here we're in a common law state. So if in the trust it says the beneficiary is that granddaughter and that granddaughter gets married to such and such, she receives that, then he or she is, half of it.
Yep. Marital assets shared jointly.
Right. So that's where we can talk about that and say, do you want a trust set up just in her name to protect those assets? And then if she decides to kumbaya and put it all in the same stew pot, she can, but you've done everything you possibly can. You're still controlling it when you're not here with us anymore. And that's where people are like, absolutely. So, and yeah, a lot of people, I've got multimillionaires that wouldn't go spend $5,000 to $7,000 at an attorney, but will do a DIY or have us walk them through it or do it for them for the $700 and we get it all done for them. So
if you're listening and you haven't done this, you continue to not put it on the calendar and procrastinate, you should give us a call right now. Come in, bring in all your paperwork, everything you got, and get financially organized.
Yes. Your retirement plan, your income, your investments, your beneficiaries, your legacy, all of it we get working together. I don't think people should leave their family with questions. They need to leave them with a plan and say, here it is. I've done everything I can. And I'm telling you, you might not believe this, or I've seen it over and over. They're going to mourn your loss.
Correct.
You have been very important in their legacy, in their life. They want to mourn your loss and not be, I know when the brother-in-law passed away, I'm like, gosh, my husband wants to mourn the loss. And we're frustrated. Right. Frustrated there's a will, frustrated that we're in court, frustrated we had to hire attorneys and we had to do all of this. We had no idea what to do with the stuff he collected, his collectibles. And I'm sure he would not have wanted what we did with them. You know, we took him just to a shop and said, here, at a very discounted price, because we didn't have the love or interest in it. But you can pick who you want. And I wish I could have honored him and done that, you know, and said, oh, and if those people decide to keep it, fine. If not, that's their deal. But in the meantime, I've got Star Wars and Star Treks, and I don't know what to do with it all. And that's where I tell people, on your Schedule A, write all that down. Your husband has guns that he's collected from his family. Let's get all that organized. And so your wishes are executed and their people aren't just tossing them and handing them out. Retirement is way too important just to guess, their way through it. Listeners, I'm talking to you right now. You only retire once, hopefully. And the decision you make in the years before and after retirement will impact you the next 20, 30, or 40 years of your life. I am encouraging you right now, if you're listening, to stop what you're doing and call us today. Schedule that complimentary Retire Ready review. Let's help you protect what you've built, reduce the surprises, and create a retirement plan that you can feel really confident about and have better sleep. And just, I call it kind of, that peaceful spending or safe or all those words, if you want to know that I've got X amount of dollars that I can spend every month. So if something special happens, there's a graduation or a baby announcement or any of that, you've got that there. You're not going, gosh, I wish I would have planned and can I take the money? We've got that all planned and prepared. So you just have a greater peace of mind because you have got a team behind you and a roadmap ready. So again, give us a call today or get on the website, dimetodiamondsradio.com, or come to the workshop, register for that on the same dimetodiamondsradio.com. We do have a tab for events.
If you want to come in for this Retire Ready review that Suzanne was just talking about, very, very simple. Give a call today. We will get you on the calendar. 918-890-8311. 918-890-8311. And don't forget about this upcoming workshop coming up on August 6th at the Senior Center, 7 p.m. You must register to attend. I cannot say that enough. Seating is limited. Go to the website, dimetodiamondsradio.com. Click that events tab. You will see where you can register there. Again, dimetodiamondsradio.com. We appreciate you joining us here. Always love hearing from you. Have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll see you next time.
We will see you next time.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Have a great day.
By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities, offered through Suzanne Porsky, NPN number 2624550. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Dime to Diamonds is a personal slogan and program inspired by overcoming challenges. It's motivational and does not guarantee financial results or performance.